we talked about consistency and then I didn't post for like a week. Those were the days. What's up, guys? It's your girl Noah, and I just recovered from a head cold. I kept getting like these like bursts of energies all throughout the week and being like, oh, let me go online, and I'd even tweet and I'd be like, hey guys, getting ready to go to work, and then I would literally like pass out. So I had a really great week. I got put on antibiotics and now I'm here, and I worked a little bit tonight and I was able to tell people hello. Now I have to change my schedule a bunch of times, but that is not what we're here to talk about. I'm sorry, I ramble. So I have a few videos that I'm currently working on that I wanted to post this week, but now with being sick I can't. So I was like, what can I do in the in-between time? And I was like, oh, duh, a story time video. And I had lots of stories. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So you read the title, let me shut up, and let's get on about this crazy story about this crazy guy. I don't know if you've seen my Sugar Daddy series that I did, was it last season? It had mixed reviews. It got a lot of views though, which is kind of cool. Had mixed reviews. I guess we all define Sugar Daddy differently. I don't agree. I think there should be a clear definition. But hey, to each her own, right? I don't know. My definition of Sugar Daddy, I guess you could say, in really quickly, and I do define it more in my videos, I'll like link it up below or whatever, but it's just somebody that supports your dreams, that's behind you, that you care about and they care about you, that you might go on dates either on the computer or in real life depending on what you're comfortable with. This story is about a internet sugar daddy. I guess you can say that getting online sugar daddies is kind of my thing. I've learned that having reliable people that also have reliable income, that are constantly coming into your room and talking to you and being with you, are ones to snag up as sugar daddies and are really reliable and great. That didn't make any sense. I usually have like one or two depending on the relationship that I'm in. Some relationships are exclusive and some aren't. And yeah, it's never really gone poorly, especially because I do them online. So it's not like I'm in person or putting myself in any type of danger, if you understand what I mean. So I think that's why this story gets so scary, because I did start feeling like I was in danger. But we'll get into that. This guy, what do we even name him? Ooh, it's name time. Let's name him Warren. Ooh. So Warren he's not like he died. I would say in his mid-50s, kind of attractive, lives on the beach, so he's tan, sandy hair, nice eyes, charming, beautiful smile. And he started talking to me on cam, and that became like a Skype thing back when Skype was nice to sex workers. And there's also like a 99% chance this video is gonna get demonetized, so I don't even know if I'm gonna censor myself at this point. I just think I'm just gonna tell the story. Where was I? So he's a good looking guy. We started talking on Skype, And I believe that that was like another like level for us. Like that brought it to a whole new thing. Became not on cam anymore. And I keep looking at the screensaver over there. Let me like turn it off. The ADD is real. Okay. Hi, eye contact. Let me not be staring at this. It's just, it was rainbowy and pretty. Sorry. Okay, let me stop. So, he was super, like, sweet. And he always tipped well. He also was very, like, giving with his tips in a way. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, he didn't care how I wanted to be tipped, and he didn't pressure me for like PayPal or something ridiculous. Like, he straight up was like, put his money where his mouth was and let everything just happen how it happened. So I was stoked because he was giving me these big ass tips. He was giving them to me like offline. He was attractive, he was nice, and he wasn't that perverted. Like, we would just sit on cam, we would just sit on Skype and we would talk. He would tell me about his day, and it was just like a nice situation. So my first red flag with this guy, Warren, was, I don't even know how to put this. One day we did have like a more sexual show, I guess you could say. And I thought we had a great time. He agreed, right? And we get off Skype, and he sends me a offline tip of 20,000 tokens. So that's $1,000. I was like really stoked, and then he said something along the lines of,
"Wow, you make me feel like such a stupid fuck when I'm around you. I fucking hate you."
like, something along those lines. And I was like, what? And he was just like,
"I fucking hate how much I love you."
so I was like, oh, LOL, okay. And I'm not gonna lie, that made me feel really uncomfortable. I was confused. Then, like, a few days go by, he's like messaging me and stuff. Everything seems to be normal. He starts to tell me that he also sees another cam model, and she happens to be my friend. So I was like, oh, cool. So we started like talking about her, and I messaged her, and I was like, hey, you seen Warren too? And she's like, yeah. And we started talking about him, and so far, like, the conversation was like normal. She was saying everything I was saying. He was super nice. He was super giving. We both at this point didn't know what he did as a profession, or anything. Not that what he does is shady. Like, spoiler, it's not shady. But I'm just saying, like, we didn't know or anything. We're like, where does this guy get all this money from? Like, blah blah blah. Having a good time, and then all of a sudden she says to me, "Hey, like, has he ever like cursed you out?" And I was like, oh my god, actually. He just sent me a big tip the other night, and I sent her the screenshot, and she was like, oh my god, yeah, okay. I feel better, like, maybe it's just like his, not foreplay, but like after that's just the way he is. So we're like, okay, whatever. Like, that's not a big deal, right? And I feel better now because like she is kind of like in it with me, and we good in the hood, right? Time goes on, these shows become more frequent, and I'm starting to realize that this guy may have a drinking problem. He would hit me up like in the morning and have like a glass of like something like brown. He would hit me up in the afternoon and he would have a glass of something. He would hit me up at night, AM. He always was drinking something. So I don't judge at first, and in my head I was like, maybe that's just what he does when he's like sitting and talking. Like, maybe that's just like his thing. Not a big deal. Like, as long as it doesn't like affect us, then like we're cool. Again, time goes on, and his behavior becomes rather erratic. So those little outbursts he would have became more frequent along with these shows and along with the drinks. And they became mean and kind of hurtful. And it got to the point where, well, after one show one day, I hit up the girl that also sees him, and I was like, hey, Warren just said this to me, and I don't know how to feel about it. I'm thinking about just like not seeing him anymore. And ladies, if you ever feel like you don't want to be seeing anybody anymore, don't see them. Just go with your gut, go with your red flags. Like, I get it, money is awesome, but if someone's making you feel uncomfortable, you really have to weigh out if it's worth it. So I told her what happened, and she was kind of just like, talked me down, trying to make me feel better about it, and I was kind of like, okay, like, whatever, I'll still see him. I'm just gonna tell him that, like, he can't talk to me like that. Again, like, a few days go by, we do a show, everything went fine. Then this was, like, the day, I think you can say. Like, this is the story. One afternoon, he hits me up on Skype, and he sits down, and we started talking. And he goes,
I have the whole afternoon off. I'm not doing surgery today.
and I was like, oh, cool, you're a surgeon? And he was like,
Yeah, I do surgery on cancer patients.
and I was like, oh, that's really, really awesome and like admirable. Like, wow. So in the back of my head now, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense why he drinks, because like I can't imagine being around like people that I care about that are dying like all the time. You know what I mean? Because you're a doctor, you care about all your patients. I guess you're supposed to put some of that care on the side, and that's why some doctors have bad bedside manner. But like, I don't know. In my head, like I couldn't do it. So you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, that makes sense now in the back of my head. And he's telling me about work. He's telling me he works with kids, and like this is like his first day off in a while, and he's so happy. And he keeps getting up and like refilling his glass and getting more and more and more drunk. But he seems to be like holding his drink together. So like I'm not alarmed at first. Now all of a sudden the afternoon is turning into like evening. We've been talking for probably like 2 hours now. And he was like, oh, hold on, my friend is here. And he turns the camera into the wall. So now all I'm seeing is like his gray wall of like his dining room and like silhouettes kind of. Obviously I hear everything. So he opens the door, and this person has like a really low kind of like shady voice. Like he's definitely speaking quiet on purpose. And it's weird. And he's like, and Warren is either just not taking a hint or just doesn't care or just knows this is how this guy talks. I don't know. And he's all just like, hey man, like blah, blah, blah. And he's being like super energetic and like, yeah, like I got it right here. And like, he's like, I got you. And you hear like slapping. And all of a sudden I don't even know how to explain this, to be honest. So you hear slapping, yeah man, blah, 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 conversation, door closes. Then it gets quiet. And then you hear like tapping. And then you hear, and then he comes back. I think you know where I'm going with this. He comes back and he's like,
Yeah, sorry about that. Like, my friend came.
and I'm like, oh, true. And he's like,
Yeah, like he just dropped off some like really awesome blow. Do you do blow?
and I'm like, oh wow, now we're all open with it, aren't we? I'm like, no, I've never. And he's just like,
Oh, like, I guess it's the oldie in me. It was like, it's really big in the 80s, like, blah, blah.
I'm like, cool. So he's sitting there, and now it starts getting. So within this next hour, and I'm going to try to make this part short because it was grueling, he's babbling, like just talking about nonsense, like going back and forth and talking about his kids, saying weird things like,
oh, like, you're my son's age, like, blah, 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 you should come out on the boat with us.
I'm like, what does that mean? Like, just being so weird, asking where I live. Now he starts to pressure me about like money and like stuff like that. He goes,
oh, if you want me to send you like this other like 1,000 that I was gonna send you tonight, like, what's your,
I think at the time I was using like Cash App or something. And I was just like not like I was already wary of it, you know? And I can't use it. I was banned because you just get banned, like they don't like sex workers. Anyway, but I was like, I don't know, can you just tip me on MFC? He starts cursing out MFC, saying how MFC is bullshit. I'm just like, all right, this is getting a lot. I'm trying to like see if I can like go or what's up.
he's like, fine, fine, fine.
And he sends me another 20K on MFC tokens, not dollars. He's like,
yeah, I'm so horny right now, like, yeah, we should totally like fuck, blah, 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 like, start getting naked.
he starts getting like kind of like demanding and like again making me feel like uncomfortable. So when this normally happens to me, I either get out of the place and just say cancel, no, and just press off, or I just ignore it and kind of just do what I would normally do and kind of just ignore what they're saying. So in this case, I was kind of just like ignoring what he was saying. So he's like,
yeah, like, get naked, do this.
and I'm like, oh yeah, like you like it, like just ignoring his rudeness. I don't know if this is a thing that normally happens when you do cocaine, but his wasn't working that well. And he started to take it out on me and say like it was my fault and saying that like maybe I'm not worth it and like all these mean things. So I finally was like, I'm done. And I felt weird because he was so intoxicated. I was like, this is not gonna go well. But at this point I was so pissed. I was like, I don't even care. I'm done. Like I don't want to talk to this guy anymore. So I yelled at him and I told him, I was like, no. I was like, you're not talking to me like this anymore. I don't feel comfortable. It's effed up. I don't even remember what I said. And I just like tore him anew. And he got pissed at me, tore me anew. And I just like left. So I block him on Skype. And I just like kind of forget about it. Well, not forget about it. Obviously you can't forget about something like that. But I kind of just like put it in the back of my mind. About like 2 weeks later, I get hit up from the cam model that also was seeing Warren, and she was like, hey, like, can I talk to you? And I was like, of course, like, what's up? And she started telling me about how like Warren was talking like all this crap about me, and as he's talking crap about me, he's like snorting all this cocaine, and she's never seen him like this before, and she's asking me if like I knew what happened or like if, and I was just like, yo, I don't know. Like I started telling her like my experience. She at that point decides, and good for her, to just cut it off then and there. Like she was just like, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna let it project onto me. He was just like so erratic. So he hits me up on my free cams. I forgot I didn't block him. So he hits me up and he's like,
hey, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to like scare you off. Like I was going through some stuff. I'm still divorcing my wife. Blah blah blah.
Sends me this like big paragraph, right? And I answer him back and I'm like, okay, like it's fine, you're forgiven, like hope you do better. And he's like,
oh, we're done, like you're just gonna cut me off like that, like haven't I given you enough money to care about me?
and it starts to now again to like escalate. Like that's such a weird like off thing to say, you know what I mean? So I'm like, money doesn't like equate to my love for a person. I was like, you were giving me that as like a tip out of your love for me, like, you know? And he starts getting mad. Then he starts calling me ungrateful. Then he starts calling me like weird, like, just insults and, like, weird things. And he's yelling at me, like, he called me a pig. Like, I'm just like, what is happening? And I literally said to him, I was like, this is literally why neither of us want to talk to you. And he was just like,
I knew you talked to her. Like, I knew you said bad things about me.
I'm like, I don't have to say bad things about you. All I have to do is just tell her, like, what you said to me. Like, and you were talking about me. So he's, like, yelling at me now. He's saying, like, I owe him a girl. I'm just like, yo. So, I mean, not to, like, kill this story for you, but it ends here. Like, I literally blocked him on everything. I put it off to the side. I didn't think about it. He never talked to him since. Occasionally, me and the model have a giggle about it, because it did happen, like, a year and a half ago. I'm not gonna lie, though, like, I definitely felt the loss of his tipping and, like, his money. Like, with him alone, I was making like $4,000 a week. So like when that went away, I was like, damn. I had many a night where I was like, should I just message him? And I was like, no. Like, what's wrong with you? It was a lot. But that is why, like, it's so important to save money. Like, when you're having highs like that, when you're, what did I call it in the other video, riding the rainbow cloud? Like, ride that magical rainbow sparkly cloud into Moneyland. I don't know. Well, you know what I'm saying? When you are having those moments, when you find those customers, you don't always know what's going to happen. You don't always know how they're going to get, who they're going to turn into, if they're going to get tired of you, if you're going to get tired of them. You don't know. So it's like, it's so important to like save and like put that money away and stuff like that. Thankfully, I was saving and I did have like a few grand like tucked away. It was just like I knew that unless I meet another whale, that's not going to happen for a little while. And that, yeah, I wasn't going to be making $4,000 off of one person, but it was good times. It was scary times. It was crazy times. He did say a lot to me that made me feel very uncomfortable and just not right. And we should never feel like that. Always remember that, like, you're in the position of power. Like, yeah, they have money, but you're in the position of power. Alright, on that note, I'm sorry this story was kind of short and weird. Like this video for more story time, and comment below if something like this has ever happened to you and you ever had like a customer like turn on you in a really weird way or do drugs or something. I'm interested in your stories. Also, like I was saying a little bit earlier, that any cam related video content, any sex worker related video content gets what YouTube calls suppressed by the algorithm, so not everyone can see it. I won't come up on like everyone's feed. It just becomes a lot, and I don't make money from ads the same way that I would if I wasn't talking about the controversial things that I talk about. And it's worse in some other videos. Like, for instance, like this video may get completely demonetized. But, like, my last video got suppressed. You know what I'm saying? On this note, please, please, please check out my Patreon. I'm also going to link it below. And just give it a little read. You can literally join and help me out for as little as $1. And yeah, it would mean a lot to my soul. I love this channel, and I love you guys, and I love that you guys love this channel, so yeah. Alright, well, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night or whatever time it is when you're watching this video, and you stay safe and vigilant, and you stay the boss that you are. I'll see you in the next one. I have lots of goodies coming up for you. I'm also thinking about going to the Pride Festival this weekend, so that might happen. We'll see how I feel and how my anxiety is and everything. So no promises, but it's something in the back of my mind. Alright, so enough of my rambling. I love you. Cue the outro song. This goes out to all the men seeking my attention. I love you all, but I got something to say, so listen. Please get your dick out of my DMs. I'm losing all my respect towards men, so put your balls away. Put your balls away. So please stop trolling on my page. Please act your age and put your balls away. Put your balls away. Put them away. Like seriously. Please put them in, but don't take pictures of your balls and send them to strangers. Don't do it. Enough. Someone get me out of this coat.